Pooh is earnest, but Pooh is a narcissistic bear with the situational ethics of a drug addict.
What?
Yeah, Pooh. Because Pooh, for a pot full of honey.
Because of the honey.
Yeah, he'll
Yes.
sell Piglet into sex slavery. For a paw full of honey.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. In a heartbeat. I had an episode where Rabbit gets a pair of running shoes. The producer, I see him making a note like this, like an X. And the script got a lot of laughs from the puppeteers. They're hamming it up, which is good. You know?
Cool.
And then at the end, he's like, rabbits don't wear shoes. All the puppeteers are very quiet now because it's like nervous. This guy was a very domineering, typical like showrunner producer. And then I said, as a newbie, he's wearing a vest. The puppeteers standing behind the producer are like,
Oh, no.
and so the producer gets up and he tosses the script on the table and he goes, the vest is part of his character. And walks out.
So pretentious.
That was my lesson.
Yeah.
The vest is part of its character.
Yeah.
The shoes, that's crazy. A rabbit with shoes. The
Yeah.
vest, that's part of his character.
Welcome to Bay Waves, where we're spotlighting folks making waves in the Bay. I'm your co-host, Johnny T.
I'm Dylan.
Dylan, we got a pretty cool guest
We
today.
do.
Yeah.
Mr. Doug Cordell.
Doug Cordell. He is an Emmy-nominated writer, did a bunch of children's shows back in the day. Some of them you probably watched in your diapers.
Yeah, I mean, I did genuinely grow up with Winnie the Pooh.
It's crazy that you were like shitting your pants while Doug was writing the stuff that you would shit your pants to.
It's because his writing was so funny
Yes.
that I would shit myself.
Yeah. It
I'm
was like,
oh,
yeah.
I can't believe Tigger got up to that again.
Yeah, it was like a spit take, but I'd actually be vomiting out.
Yeah, it was it was breast milk take.
Yeah. But Doug wrote for Blue's Clues, for Winnie the Pooh Show, for Bear in the Big Blue Brain. What is it called again?
Blue House.
Bear
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Big
yeah.
Blue House.
We may have just been. Well, you're younger than me. I certainly missed that. Like I was too old for I think Bear.
I missed that. I missed that too, but
Yeah.
a lot of people loved it. I remember like seeing the tail end of it and be like, "This is a crazy large bear on screen."
Yeah.
But Doug these days does a lot of storytelling classes. He is a stand-up comedian in the Bay Area. Does shows all over like Punchline Cobb, San Jose Improv, everything. And he's had a crazy journey from like not caring about writing or like not even thinking about comedy as like a newbie in the big city of New York.
He was just a lefty in his parents' backyard.
Yeah, until like having this roller coaster journey and ended up here in the Bay Area doing stand-up comedy and doing a lot of storytelling, which is sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was actually kind of fascinating hearing somebody go through this career where one isn't necessarily connected to the other. Like it isn't the trajectory you would necessarily expect.
I feel like this is a Bay Area thing. Like people get here for very strange reasons and then they end up doing something else or they end up starting something. Like I feel like it's like, I don't know, this is just a hive for strange life arcs, you know, the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And I think it's what makes people interesting.
Yeah, and we're specifically talking to like clowns and tap dancers and stand-ups. You know? Yeah.
We are going out of our way to select people, cherry pick them for this podcast. But I talk to a lot of people that'd be like, you should never be on this podcast that also have similar crazy life arcs.
Who should never be on the podcast, Johnny? I want a name.
Probably.
Or an archetype, rather.
An archetype? Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to go like Epstein probably shouldn't be on this podcast.
Oh, well, that'd be an interesting interview.
Yeah. Ali Wong is too cool for us. She should not be on this podcast.
We reached out way too many times.
We spam the shit out of Ali Wong, being like, please be on this pod. Please. And she responds to each one saying, no, I will never. She responds. It's crazy.
That would be amazing. I want to see those. Like that like a big celebrity would go out of their way
Yeah.
to say absolutely not.
Yeah, to just deny you any sort of happiness, even though most of their job is trying to bring happiness to people. So, yeah. So Ali Wong probably never coming on this show, but Archetype, I don't care. Anyone can come on the show. Just don't be someone that like you're likely to get canceled in the next 6 months. Like that would not look good.
Yeah, that's way too soon. 7 months is fine. 8 months is fine.
Yes. Yeah.
6 is just, as far as like our release schedule, it would just get in the way.
It would get in the way, and all of a sudden we'd have like 3 days to get views before we have to take down the video.
Well, we'd have to do an apology video, and then like, I
can see our apology video now. It's just like we're both crying and we're staring at the camera, and the video is just entitled "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry. Yeah. You know how many videos of that I've
Waves
seen?
the story.
We should do one anyway.
Yeah, we should do one. People are like, what did they do?
Yeah. Let's do a video called "I'm sorry," and we're apologizing in a nondescript way about like we would never intentionally do this to our community, but we know that. Intent isn't always. See, I got to work on my apology.
You got to work on
hire
your apology.
Doug Cordell to write an apology.
We will hire Doug Cordell to write us an apology. I also like the idea of us just like tweeting out random things. Like we're gonna have to pause everything. Dylan was being very inappropriate, but make it vague enough that people are like, "What
did
the
he
heck
do?"
happened?"
Yeah.
Cool. So let's get to our guest, Doug Cordell.
Can I hear you?
I hope so.
I can hear
so
you.
The mic is. Do I have to do this way or just?
I think it's a little bit better this way.
Unidirectional.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
unidirectional right
whatever's
at the top.
Because with these shows, sometimes you get these mics that are like, if you don't speak right into the top of it.
Yeah, you got to make friends with it. You got
to
to
make friends with it.
You can give
I
a little
just
kiss
did a
if you
show.
want.
Yeah, if you want to put your whole
We'll see
mouth,
how the podcast goes.
you can put your whole mouth over
I don't
it
just
too.
do that right off the bat.
we got to warm you up.
It's not date one
Work
material.
up to it.
Yeah.
Warm me up. No, I did this show, and the producer, he's a great producer in the North Bay, but he has a mic where he's like, don't eat the mic. Because apparently come up there and people just go like that.
Wow, I
And it
rarely hear
distorts.
don't eat the mic.
I know. So I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It was a good show. It's a great show.
That's good. Okay,
Yeah.
and so you're happy to be done producing that show in North
My
Beach?
show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good run. I did it for a year and a half. I was new to comedy in the Bay Area, so I just wanted to meet people and connect with all that stuff.
Yeah. What were you doing comedy before?
I'd really only started about a year and a half before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I started in L.A. in the winter, and then I started doing in New York while I was there. I had kind of dipped in and out of comedy. I've been doing storytelling for like 15 years. I do it on the radio.
Right.
So I did live shows, a lot of live shows. And they're funny stories, about my misadventures in life, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I dipped in and out of comedy because I do comics who were doing storytelling shows with me. So I was like, I can do that, And I would duck into these comedy shows that I had no business being on, really, talk my way into it because I had been on the radio and I knew these comics.
Right.
And I sucked.
Yeah.
I knew how to write jokes. I used to write jokes for disease benefits in New York.
What is that? Is that a nonprofit?
Like a benefit for Lou Gehrig's disease. And the celebrities would be there, and I would write jokes for them because if it's like Ben Stiller or somebody like that, these people who paid like $5,000 a plate expect him to be funny, even though there's a table of like people in wheelchairs right down front who have Lou Gehrig's disease.
Right.
He has to come out, touch the heart, and then be funny.
Yeah.
So you're writing
So
jokes.
I'm writing jokes for that.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I did one with him. Well, it was supposed to be him and his mother, who was, I don't know if you guys have heard of Stiller and Mira. Stiller and Mira, his father,
His
Ben
dad.
Stiller, the guy who was the dad on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So his wife, Ann Mira, she's Irish, he's Jewish. They had a comedy team, Stiller and Mira. They were huge in the 60s, before my time. They were on Ed Sullivan all the time. So it was supposed to be Ben Stiller at this benefit with his mother, Ann Mira. So me and my partner wrote jokes about that. And then the mother bailed at the last minute, so Kirsten Johnson, who's a really tall woman who used to be on Third Rock from the Sun,
Okay.
substituted. And we had all this material based on him and his mother. Yeah, it was awkward. And it bombed.
Oh,
Wait,
it bombed.
kept
so
the same
hard.
material?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just
kept it
went
all.
out and did the same thing, and then he threw us under the bus.
Oh,
Yeah, he
Benny.
threw us. Benny, I know. I couldn't blame him. It bombed. I mean, there are all these people. It was such a weird event. It's like in where was it? Somewhere in Midtown Manhattan, this big ballroom from like the 40s. So there are all these young, rich people. This is their social life. They go to these like $5,000 or $10,000 a plate disease benefits. They don't care what the benefit is for. And they're all crowding around the bar, hectoring this bartender. Do you have Kettle One? Which was the big vodka.
Yep.
That. And meanwhile, there's like a clutch of people who have like Lou Gehrig's disease, who are like huddled around a table, like slumped over, like severely.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's all very weird.
Can we talk about how problematic the name of a nonprofit of disease benefits is?
Well, I just call it that.
Oh, okay, that's not the name. I'm
No,
like,
because it wasn't
why
the-
do diseases need any more benefits?
No, because it wasn't the only disease benefit I did.
Oh, okay.
I wrote jokes for disease benefits. So there were various. I was on the circuit.
Cool.
Ah.
Wow.
The
You were the
disease
guy.
benefit circuit.
Yeah, I was on the circuit. That's it.
That's how you make it.
And there's
I
a
tell you, man,
bajillion
if you can write
diseases.
jokes for that, you can write jokes for it.
You've been through the
I've been through the mill. But it bombed so hard, and then, and he says at some point, I'm like going down to the bathroom and like hiding in a stall
Yes.
downstairs,
Yes.
sweating bullets.
Ben,
just
don't
avoiding-
hit me.
Yeah, because I'm sitting at a table with people at first, and we had told them, oh yeah, we wrote material, and then when it started to bomb, we like disappeared.
Oh gosh.
And he
teleprompter?
goes, and Ben Stiller goes after one of them bombed. He goes, "Who wrote this stuff?"
Oh no.
Yeah.
But doesn't the
That's how you get
audience
out of it.
expect it to be Ben Stiller writing this stuff, or is he like the
Yeah.
MC type of guy?
It's kind of like I don't know if they think too much about it. I don't think a lot of these young, rich people were even paying that much attention, except it's Ben Stiller.
Yeah, it's Ben Stiller.
They do expect it to be funny, but they're eating also. So there's a lot of like clinking plates in this like armory.
But it's kind of like the Oscars where
It's a
like
terrible showbiz environment.
It's
Let's
like
just put it
Kirsten
that
Stewart
way.
talking, but reading the teleprompter, of which
Yeah.
she didn't write any of it. But
Right.
it's like almost like it is coming from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or a
kinda reminds
monologue, a
me.
late night monologue.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a sort of, I mean, comedy's sort of interesting. I've talked to comics a lot about this sort of conspiracy of suspension of disbelief between you and the audience. The audience knows you're not just up there riffing off the top of your head.
Right.
Unless we were talking earlier about Rory Scovel, who does sometimes, but he has material.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but he'll improv and riff. But there's a sort of desire for them to believe, and they kind of suspend disbelief, that this is all natural.
Yeah.
That you haven't done this material 100 times. And so the fake is that you deliver it in a way that sounds conversational.
Right.
And that's a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trick. It's kind of like, it's magic. It's like a magic trick. People like the magic trick.
It's interesting that you say that when I think about the way people format jokes, because you have a variety of ways in which you do jokes, but you're one of the few people out here that I notice that does a lot of like the short Mitch Hedbergian one-liner stuff, which I really like, especially because I don't see it as much anymore. I feel like that's a part though where people are not, because it's not conversational.
Right.
It's the setup, the punchline, the setup,
Yeah.
the punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I come from a storytelling background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So comics are always surprised to find that out because they're like, your jokes are so short.
Yeah.
I try to, I'm trying now to write longer
Yeah.
pieces. And I'm also trying to figure out, which is hard to do, about how to work storytelling into stand-up because it's a totally different. When I first started doing these stand-up shows, I would try to work a story into that, and it didn't work because they're not structured like a storytelling. Like, I don't know if you know Tom Segura,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just pure storytelling, right?
Yeah.
So his audience expects that at this point. But otherwise, it's very tough. And that's why a lot of times you'll see a comic go, in the middle of their set, they go, can I tell you guys a story? So he's just letting people know
Right.
for the next 3 to 5 minutes, it's going to be a story.
Yeah.
There's the
And then
primer
people can
there.
relax, and then we're going to get back to the jokes.
Yeah.
Right.
Back to the dick jokes, But the short jokes, I mean, the thing is, people say one-liners. They're really two-liners, right? Almost entirely two-liners, right? I was at a poetry reading in Berkeley, $5 to get in, $10 to get out.
Right.
That's the shortest joke I have, and I'll open with that a lot because it just was like, I was there, now I'm here, and it literally is like 11 seconds, and you get a laugh right off the bat. If that joke doesn't hit at the top of the set, I'm like, uh-oh.
We're in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah. But my chute didn't open.
Yeah.
How often are you catering to, mid-show to a non-receptive crowd? Meaning like
every other night.
Yeah. This isn't work. I got to switch into this gear and do this type
it's
of
only
work.
now that I have enough material that I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and that I know it enough that I can just ditch that and go into something else. Otherwise, when you're first starting out, you're like, you got your tight 5, then you got your tight 10, then you're 15, but it's all like in your head, like da, 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 and it sounds like it a lot of times to an audience, right?
Yeah.
So then to be able to do that, and it depends on how long the set is, right? If it's 20 minutes, you have more room to open it up. I was talking to somebody who was a headliner, and I was like, 45 minutes, that's a lot, man. He goes, you just talk slower.
Oh, yeah.
You just take your time, you walk around stage.
Yeah.
The pacing is different. I don't know, but I'm not sure that's the best advice. But
I've seen like your stand-up, and it sounds like you've got all these different jokes, obviously.
Right.
But you connect it in a way that like the story makes sense, right? Like you're not just jumping to random joke after random joke. You're like talking about your family, and then you mention that like
it's easier
I am a daddy. Like it's kind of seamless in that way.
Yeah, and I definitely think about that.
Yeah.
It's also easier to remember because they're sort of grouped by like I open up and I say, here I am, and I talk about where I'm from, where I grew up. I grew up in the South, moved out here from New York. There's that chunk.
Yeah.
Then there's the chunk that's like, about dating and sex and being single and all that stuff. So it's easier to remember and flow. And now it's like, you can mix it around and go, okay, yeah, and add in new stuff that kind of fits in there. But it's great when you have something that has a natural segue like that.
Yeah.
It just feels very conversational. I mean, have you ever seen Jimmy Carr?
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Carr just does, I don't know how he remembers them all.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Just 1 and 2 liners, because he does like an hour and 20-minute live show, right, at a theater. And he breaks it up in the middle with like this thing where he challenges the audience to roast him.
Yes,
just yell
I've
out
seen
shit.
this.
Yeah,
Right.
yell
And,
out.
that's
Yeah.
and he
popular.
roasts them, usually saying something about their mother.
Yeah.
Like almost every time.
Yeah.
Your mother.
The
And they
audience
love
loves
it.
Yeah.
They love it. It's all like these working class Brits and Wales. Yeah. But otherwise, for the other hour, he's doing 1 and 2 liners
just
that are
spin out.
completely don't seem related. Like he'll just be like, there's a fine line. What is it? There's a fine line between obsessive and compulsive. It's called a hyphen. Like that.
Yeah.
And he'll do like.
And they'll do 250
I mean, if
more.
you're doing jokes like that, like every minute of your set, even allowing for laughs, it's like 5 jokes, right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing an hour, that's 300 jokes.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous.
Doesn't make any
That's
sense.
crazy to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's really the feat.
trick.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, what order do you put that in? I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, you also got to think about like, okay, some of these jokes land better than others, right? Some jokes you might want to have later in the audience or later in your show when perhaps your audience is getting a little sleepy or their fucking edible is wearing off, whatever it is.
Yeah. They come in wake.
Yeah.
Do it in a show at the Function, which is downtown here. Downtown San Francisco.
Fairly new comedy
Fairly
joint.
new.
Yeah.
First black-owned comedy club
Yeah.
in the Bay Area, I think. Definitely in San Francisco. And they do shows every night. And it's down on Market Street, 11 o'clock at night, you're doing the mic down there, and all of a sudden, like 12 super wasted people come in. You got to do one-liners for that.
Yeah.
Dick jokes.
They're not going to
remember.
hold any story on their
Yeah,
head.
and there are jokes I'll break out there that I would never do at like a winery show.
Sure.
Are you a pretty raunchy comic?
I'm
like,
not.
You got some...
I have my dirtiest joke.
Okay.
Can I say that on here? Or?
You
Yeah.
can say anything you want.
Okay.
But address it to Johnny's father.
Yes. Yeah. We're talking. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm trying to remember. What is the? What's his name?
Ronald.
Ronald.
Yeah.
Ronald. I don't know if you're Should I say it to the camera here?
Yes,
Ronald. I don't know if you're a science buff or not. A study that came out a few years ago, I missed it. Apparently, it said that eating pineapple makes cum taste good. I don't know if you heard this. Yeah, my experience, what makes cum taste good? Free cocaine. And I will be here after the show. That's what I always say. So,
You're
and I
welcome,
will
Ronald.
not. I will not do that joke at a winery show.
Yeah.
With like 45-year-old
Right.
people.
What about like when you have specific friends in the audience or like
friends
family
don't come.
members?
Comedians don't have friends.
Oh, right. Okay. So we'll be your new friends, and then you can curate a whole set
Yeah.
based off of
That's
us.
why, like you know, it's so funny when you work with like I was producing a show, a bar show, but it was a good one in North Beach in San Francisco, and the owner of the place just didn't know about comedy. He's French. He just didn't know at all about.
The French don't know about comedy.
Well, he didn't know about stand-up. Took me a while to convince him. He was empty on Sunday nights to do the show.
You're like, hey, there's going to be a person up there who's going to talk into a microphone.
He thought I think he thought it was going to be like burlesque. That's what he
big
thought,
jump.
like
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't. It took me a while to convince him that
Was it because you were in Fringe?
Yeah, that
yeah.
might have been.
Were you wearing like pretty much
I was
nothing
wearing-
while you talked to him?
I was in pasties. Yeah, and I squirted him with seltzer.
It's funny.
Yeah, no, he thought he's like, you have to tell the comedians to bring their friends. I'm like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because first of all, these people their friends are comedians.
Yeah.
If they have any friends.
Right.
And their friends are doing shows, and they're doing shows,
Yeah.
and they're not. He wanted more promotion from the comics. I'm like, that's not where the promotion comes from. And if you got a name, which is not going to be the case at a bar show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then they'll put fannies in the seats. But otherwise, it's local comics. I had really good people. I had people who were what they call passed at the local clubs, which means they're basically like a quasi-employee of like the main comedy clubs here. A lot of them, because it was a good show. But they're not like a name you would put on the thing and it's going to draw people.
Yeah, they're not household. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You just the show builds a brand, and people the awareness that it's a good show. I called it Stand-Up Comedy North Beach,
Perfect.
which was like perfect because that's it just sounded like this is the brand.
This is where you
Yeah.
go.
Some good SEO keywords in
Yeah,
there too.
this is the brand.
Like very
Yep.
easy. If someone's
Yeah.
looking that up.
Yeah.
I did book somebody the other day that, no joke, brought 10 to 15 people, and I couldn't believe it. That ended up being half
comic?
the room. A comic.
Were they new?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
can't remember her name right now, and if I tell you her name,
Because new comics will do that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's why they do like new talent showcases at these places.
Yes.
Right,
You're
right.
That
so
are
right.
basically bringer shows.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume she's a few years in, and I'll find her name and I'll tell you afterwards. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then I ran into her the next day at a friend of mine runs like a local nonprofit for, it's like queer comedy in the Bay, and they like teach classes and things. It's pretty interesting. They're called Peacock Rebellion, but they were doing a big like fundraiser.
Right.
And rented out in this enormous hall in downtown San Francisco. And then I ran into that girl. She was sitting right behind me, and she brought like 10 people again. I was
That's
like,
great.
you just has a posse. And it's like a lot of it's like family members, and they're just like down to go hang out and watch comedy.
Dude, that's
And
crazy.
it's crazy. I would never do that
No.
for my family members.
No.
No, I don't want my.
I brought my
brother.
sister to a show. It's the first time she ever saw me. She was visiting here from Wisconsin, and she's older than me, and I'm old. So
How did it go?
No.
no. Thank you for that,
Oh yeah, we're supposed to deny.
Ronald. You've done a wonderful job. It wasn't a great audience.
Sure.
It was a good show. It was a golf club outside in the suburbs of Walnut Creek,
Okay.
like the banquet room.
Oh. Okay.
And the audience is sort of spread out, and the sound is sort of muffled. And then there
that's
was
rough.
a guy. Yeah, and I went bullet. I went first after the host, who just did a brief set.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. I mean, she'd never seen me before, and she's a very sweet person.
I was gonna say, is she a supporter or? Is she
yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
She was like, "Oh, you were the best one."
oh, nice.
Yeah.
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 You know, she
Gotta
has-
believe her.
You
gotta
really want
believe
the
her.
people.
I choose to believe her.
Yeah. Yeah. You really
I
want the
choose-
people that can laugh loudly, right? That
Yeah.
aren't the chucklers.
Yes. You know, in Japan they have something called what are they called? Sapporo or something like that.
Sapporo is a beer.
Sapporo is Japanese. Yeah, this is like Sapporo, like P-U-A or
Okay.
I don't know, Sakura. I don't know what it is. But there are people who are paid to come to the show and laugh.
Oh, geishas. That's what you're trying to say.
Geishas.
Okay.
Yeah. And then,
Paid to come to the show and
and then
flatter you.
yeah. And then they taste, after the show, they make sure that your cum tastes like pineapples.
Yeah. That's perfect.
That's right. It's moving to Japan.
So you hire them out and they come to your show to laugh.
They come to shows, I think more like, like big shows, and they're there, and it's just an understood thing.
Cool. Are they hired out by the venue or are they
Yeah.
hired out by the comedians?
No, but I think by
the
the producer or whoever.
The producer.
Yeah, because it's understood. It just gives, because you know how it is, like you could have a crowd of like 15 people, and if they're lively, it's just great
Yeah,
right from the
it's
beginning.
totally
And the
fine.
whole set is like eating ice cream. You're just like, bam, 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 bam. I'm amazing.
Yeah.
And then you could have like 50 people, and for whatever reason, it's just flat.
Yeah.
And it's just missing like that 2 or 3 critical number of people who are just laughing, and then nobody wants to be out front laughing if nobody else is laughing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a weird dynamic. I mean, to me, I find fascinating as somebody who came to performing late in a very gradual, organic process. Started out as a writer, started writing personal essays like David Sedaris, kind of funny first-person essays, then started doing live readings of those at like literary events in New York, and then started doing storytelling where you don't have pages. So now you're doing 15 minutes, and then it's a little more loose, and then from that to comedy over 3 decades. Wow. So coming late to that, and then the whole dynamic. So I've been doing live audiences for like 15 years, right?
Yeah.
But comedy's different. And just the idea that, you hear comedians say, like, the audience is an animal. I think Patrice O'Neill talks about this. Like, you can't let the audience get the upper hand. And if you're bombing, just bomb. Don't let them have the power. But they do become an organism that thinks as one. And if they've decided at the top of the set that they don't like you, it's hard to do it.
Hard to eat it.
You got to eat it. It's just going to be. I saw somebody, I did a couple of open mics on when was this? Tuesday night. Wasn't booked. Just want to work on new material. So this other comic who I know did one, and it was in downtown Berkeley, the break room downstairs. And it was a good mic. There were actually people there. He did his set before me, and he did really well. It was great. Everything just hit, and it was great. We went down the street to another mic later, and he went up before me. And for whatever reason, the audience, I could tell at the top of his set, just decided they didn't like him the way that first joke hit. And he got nothing for the exact same set.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it was just like, I'd been there, man. I know exactly what that's like. He's just like, for whatever reason, and then nothing's going to hit. It doesn't matter because they've decided. It's almost like they've all looked at each other and go, he's not funny, right? We don't like him. We don't like him.
Yeah.
And
need validation from the other
and
people
nothing's
in the
going to hit. Yeah.
I don't like the almost social pressure around that, because I've certainly been in situations where I'm enjoying it, but I'm noticing nobody else around me is, or they're feeling similarly, and then it's like the person next to them isn't, but they actually, you know what I mean? It's like, but you're right, like it ends up turning into groupthink, and then I'm like almost embarrassed that I am enjoying
Totally.
something that other people are not.
Yeah.
You said something earlier about don't let them get the upper hand on
Don't
you.
give them the power.
Don't give them the power. I heard, Kasim.
Yeah. Kasim Bentley?
Kasim Bentley, local
Yeah.
comic. I saw him just rip apart an audience, just roast the audience.
So have I.
Crazy.
Several times.
and I was talking to him afterwards. I was like, that was nuts. And he's like, they all think they're better than you, and they're not. And I'm here to show them that they're not.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
Kasim
oh,
is crazy.
Power
he's
dynamic.
crazy. Oh my
like-
God, it was amazing.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah. Yeah, he's fearless. I've seen Kasim do that and go after everybody. But it's weird to me, like I said, coming to performing later, and then that whole psychology of crowds,
Yeah.
the mob mentality of whatever, and it's fascinating to me. And what makes a room click, and what makes a room not click, and all of that stuff. And
And you noticed the same thing in storytelling? Was the same dynamic?
yeah, but the expectations are so different. I
Okay.
mean, comedy's so much harder, you know.
Right.
You know the Bill Hicks. He has his 10 rules of comedy,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
And they're all craft oriented, like few words as possible.
Sure.
They're great. But his last one is, if you can do this, you can do anything. This is the hardest thing in the world to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
A lot of comics think that.
Yeah. Dylan was good at comedy, and he's like, I can make a podcast.
Yeah, I can do whatever the
and
do
we're
whatever the hell I
failing,
want.
but
Yeah.
we're trying.
Yeah. No, it's just the expectations are so much different in storytelling
Yeah.
because it doesn't have to be funny. If it's funny,
Right.
it's like I have friends who are teachers. Like for whatever reason, my lifelong buddies back in New York, there's a few of them who are like professors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a performer too."
Yeah.
You know, this is what they'll tell you, and I understand that, but I'm like, yeah. That's, that's like talking to somebody who's like does race car driving, and you're like, I teach driver's ed.
Yeah.
It's a different, the expectations are different.
Yeah,
If you get
it is.
or speaking at which I used to worked in public affairs. I wrote speeches among my many various weird writing jobs. I was
Yeah.
a
For public
speechwriter.
officials and stuff.
Yeah, public
Oh, okay.
officials and for like nonprofits, just some event,
Okay.
did speech writing. And if people laugh at that, it's like such a bonus because most people who are public speakers are not good
Yeah.
and they're not funny.
Yeah.
So the bar is so low.
Yeah, you're so right.
And same thing for like if you're a professor, if you're mildly amusing, the bar is so low.
Right.
yeah.
And
People always
storytelling,
remember
storytelling in a way is like, you have a lot of people who are doing it who aren't just performing every night like comedy. These comics are doing it every night. So nobody is more comfortable on stage than somebody who's been doing comedy for a few years,
Totally.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're comfortable in any situation. They've
Whatever.
played like a bowling alley, with 8 drunken people.
That was probably the worst show I've ever done. Was in a bowling alley. The demographic was all middle-aged black men and women, all coupled up. We were not connecting at all.
Where was that?
This is in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow.
That was a rough
Do you know
show.
the name of the bowling alley?
I wish I did. I would shout him out. The next guy that went up.
Let's bring him down. Let's cancel that bowling alley.
Next guy that went up, middle-aged black man, killed. Just fucking
Right.
killed. Just like
Right.
could connect and like, yep. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not writing I'm realizing I need to figure out different ways to write to connect with different.
Yeah, and
demographics
sometimes
and
it's just
stuff.
not your audience.
It certainly was not.
Right.
I'm curious about in your journey, do you wish you did comedy earlier, or was it just like never really?
I never occurred
on
to
your
me.
radar? Okay.
Yeah, it's not like I thought of doing
Storytelling occurred to you before.
storytelling never occurred to me either. I mean, I came to there's no logic to the progression of my life in any way.
Love
You're
it.
all over the place.
Yeah. In retrospect, looking back at it, it looks like there's a sort of organic progression.
Okay.
Because one thing, they're all to do with like talking and writing,
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah,
right? It's not like I was coding or, biochemist or something. And then, but I went to undergrad. I studied political science. I was a very political person. I'm a real lefty. I'm a real old lefty.
Yeah, would you lefty?
Yeah.
We got to get him out of here.
Out. So I really didn't discover writing or anything until after college. And I
Okay.
was home and went through some stuff, and I was just sort of languishing. It was like a Billy Joel song. I was just hanging around Long Island in the backyard of my parents' house thinking, well, this is it. And I started reading these short stories, and I got into that. So I went to grad school for playwriting at NYU.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes. And so then when I was at NYU doing playwriting, I got a part-time job with the U.S. EPA as a speechwriter. And
The
then I started
EPA.
speech writing. And then
Did you need to know anything about environmental protection?
no, but I was a politically aware person. I was like a political junkie, and I knew
Gotcha.
enough. And it was a perfect. Actually, I'm sort of like genetically bred to do that, to write speeches, because it was
Cool.
a perfect combination of like a dramatic form and political content.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And in that, I had these books of quotes, and you'd insert like a funny quote in there. I used to insert all these quotes from Woody Allen, and before the whole Sunyi Pharaoh scandal.
Yeah.
Because it would be like such a great. He'd have these quotes where he's like at a high school, college commencement, and he would say, today more than any time in history, mankind faces a crossroads. One path leads to despair and other hopelessness, the other to total extinction. Let us pray we have the wisdom to choose correctly. He would just do these jokes like that, and it's
that's
all
so
a
good,
misdirection. Yeah. And then you couldn't do them anymore. I couldn't use them anymore.
You could, yeah. They're all awash now.
Yeah.
I have to. I work at a school and I send staff communications every day, and I have to pick a quote every day to put at the top of the paper. So
Whoa,
I'm constantly
really?
looking up quotes.
But they're not funny. They're inspirational.
I'll switch from inspirational to funny to science to literature. I just try to be.
Do you have a list that you try to
I could pull them up. Yeah, I certainly
ChatGPT
can.
this thing every day?
Yeah, now I had these books of quotes, but now, you just pull.
Yeah, you just pull it. Yeah, and I end up with like a few websites that are the quote compilers, and like half of the funny ones are the Woody Allen.
I know, they're great.
It's like you can't get away
Yeah.
from
Oh
it. Yeah.
shit! Another Bill Cosby one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, there was like something like as Oscar Wilde.
Yes, lots of
said-
Oscar Wilde.
Yeah, as Oscar Wilde said on his deathbed, either this wallpaper goes or I do.
Yeah,
Like
that's good.
and it's like has nothing to do with the speech,
Yeah.
but people laugh and that's it. So
So you would insert. That was your first. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like, oh, I'm gonna zhuzh up these jokes. I'm gonna make them a little funny.
right,
Or like I'm gonna zhuzh up this speech.
yeah,
So you started getting your
Yes.
comedy brain was turned on.
yes.
Nice.
Exactly. I mean, I grew up on Woody Allen and all that stuff, so I was in. We were all fans of it, me and my friends. But I
Right.
had no aspirations for doing comedy or writing in comedy. So then I was writing plays in New York, and then there were very few TV shows in New York at that time that were being produced. Law and Order was the only one. Then I got into writing for kids TV because those were the only shows that were really being produced in New York, and I started doing staff writing for children's television.
I wonder why that was the case.
Law
and Order
it was like
and
soap
children's
operas.
shows.
Soap operas were in New York. I don't know.
Yeah, everything was just in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was actually working on a Bear in the Big Blue House,
Bear in the
which
Big
was
Blue
a
House.
huge kids TV show. I was a staff writer
Yeah.
for that. And we were in the Chelsea food market, and we ran into this actress we knew, and she said she had just played a dead body on Law and Order.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's like a big moment
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah, that's
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
check,
That's me.
check,
That's me.
check
Yeah.
out my
I
destroyed
killed.
body.
I killed. That's good. What season did you end up getting that Emmy nomination for that show?
I think it was season 4.
And that is that one of those like off-screen nominations, or
What
do
does that
they
mean?
like
Nobody knows about
nobody
it.
knows about it because
Yeah.
I feel like there's all these
Oh, you mean did it not make the TV show?
That's right.
Well, first of all, those were daytime Emmys.
Right.
That's a whole separate awards thing. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Snap, exactly. I have a joke about that where I said my girlfriend, which is actually true, the woman I was dating at the time, when I got the Emmy nomination, the show is over. This is now like a year later.
Uh-huh.
I'm living off the residuals.
Nice.
I'm up in Portland, Oregon. I got like a check for $40,000 for residuals. I'm just like living the life. And I
Nice.
was dating this woman, and she was a very high achiever and a kind of competitive person.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this news, and I said, "Hey, I got nominated for an Emmy." And then she thinks of it, and she goes, "Well, that's a daytime Emmy, isn't it?" I know.
You just reveal this like big news,
I
like
know.
a big moment in your life.
I was
and
like, well,
she's
yeah.
well, let's bring you down a pedestal.
I know.
what a keeper. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we're not together anymore.
It ended that moment.
So I went to the daytime Emmys in New York
Nice.
for the presentation
That's cool.
ceremony. Yeah, I met Martha Stewart. who was
Okay.
just recently out of prison.
Recently single. Oh,
Prison. She went to prison.
She went to prison
For
for
what?
stock,
Yeah.
some sort of stock
Oh, some
manipulation,
nice white
insider
collar
training.
crime.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
insider trading.
Martha.
So, but, but she was in. I mean, she was actually in the pokey for like a year and a half or something.
Mm.
She came back better than ever. She's a tank, man. No, you don't destroy Martha
Everybody
Stewart.
loves Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
I mean, she like owned television
She's-
for
yeah.
years.
And also, like a lot of people, like personalities on television, she has a huge head. You know, like you meet these people, like she's tall. She's like 6 feet tall, and her head is just like
I thought you meant
physical?
metaphorically.
Yeah,
No.
I was like, she's
no,
got
an
big-
actual head.
confidence?
Her actual head is enormous.
It's 'cause,
and I met these people. There used to be a guy who was like a commentator on 60 Minutes at the end. This old, his act was to be this old curmudgeon who talked about everyday things like what's the deal with gum wrappers, you know, that kind of Andy Rooney. And I met him at a Writers Guild Christmas party, and he, same age, short guy with like an enormous head. You know, I don't know.
You notice people's heads.
But apparently, this is a thing on broadcast. It's helpful. Like why there are a lot of short actors. Why there are a lot of famous actors who are short.
Oh, because
There's a lot of speculation about that. I don't know. They used to say people say it has to do with the lighting. Like Mel Gibson is like 5'6" or something.
Yeah,
right?
Tom Cruise
Sylvester
is 5'7".
Stallone's 5'8".
This is like all
maybe.
the presidents are middle children and left-handed. And it's like there's all these like weird.
Yeah, we
Lincoln's
need to check in
secretary was named
circumference.
Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary. No, I don't know.
Yeah, we need to check circumference of heads more. That's
Yeah.
not on anyone's IMDb page, unfortunately.
The head
Just the
size.
height.
Let me see your head.
You got a pretty big noggin.
You got a little
Yeah.
bit of a head. No, it's not Martha Stewart.
Not
but
Martha Stewart
No.
quality. No.
I got a small head. I've always known that.
You know you have a small head.
I know I have a small head. My parents were even like, "It's okay to have a small head."
You really got to
like-
grow out that stash to like even it out. Like
I
like
think I
it's
just
got to
gotta
come
get
off your
fatter.
face.
I think I just got to put on some weight, get some like chipmunk.
Your
cheeks
head's
in
gonna look
there.
even smaller.
No, I think if I like
Do you wear
have
clothes to?
a more like rounded face.
Yeah, but the rest of your body also grows.
My yeah, true. Well, then I'm hopeless. Then I'll never be on TV, I guess.
You're fine.
You can wear things to augment the size of
It's
your
true.
head, though.
It's true.
Like what?
Like a big Rasta hat.
Yeah, do that.
Tuck your hair
Yeah,
up.
maybe
Yeah,
like a
do
red
that.
fez hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
The
probably
white guy
like-
with dreads. That's always a good
yeah,
look.
that'll be go great. Hey, it's San Francisco, whatever it goes.
Yeah.
I think
that's
collared shirts
Berkeley.
probably help with like I don't know, either like framing your head a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know the science behind this, but
It's
I think
working.
I,
It's good.
I think this is an interesting topic.
I didn't think when I met you, wow, what a small
What a
head.
lot
what, a,
head.
what a little shrimp of a head.
So you
But now that you mention it,
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about it.
I'm a shrimp shithead. That's what I am.
no, if you two had kids, you'd have a normal size head child.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
What a-
we don't want average. Average isn't gonna make it to like ABC.
Regression?
You know?
Oh, right. You're not. Yeah, middle of the road people don't make it to Hollywood. Don't make it to.
Yeah, it's the same thing
yeah.
with athletes. You know, they like marry another very famous, very good, hardworking athlete, and they produce a super child.
Yeah.
And it's like that thing goes on to, you know, win Olympic medals.
I posted a Usain Bolt quote the other day in the staff
Not
communication.
funny, I'm guessing.
Can you say it? And can you say it in the way that
Usain Bolt would say it. Yeah. I got this. Let me
That'll be-
channel my
That'll be great.
Bahamas. Where's this guy from?
He's from Jamaica.
Jamaica. Yeah. Anyways, it was something along the lines of like I get winded walking upstairs now, or something like that. He's like so out of shape. He said he's like I am like
it is
a
kinda
normal person. It
Yeah,
is kind
funny.
of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even even the fastest man in the world gets tired.
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
for him.
Is that supposed to inspire the kids, or is that just fun?
It's the daily report that goes to it's the staff, not the kids.
Oh, okay.
It's basically saying it's all downhill from
It's all downhill from here. Yeah,
You
exactly.
peak and then,
And then it's
steep
over.
hill. Yeah.
So you did Bear in the Big Blue House. You moved
Did
to
all these-
Portland to go.
I was
to
like
go li-
bouncing around because
Okay.
I was living off this residuals.
Yeah.
If you have a Writers Guild staff writing job, you get the health insurance, the residuals,
Nice.
the fat salary,
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed script fee, all that stuff. If you're not, if you're in kids TV and you're in animation, it's like, you know, the poor side of the tracks. You don't get any of that. Now you have these shows on primetime, like The Simpsons and stuff, to voluntarily sign a Writers Guild contract so they can use Writers Guild writers. But most of the stuff you see on like Adult Swim, all that stuff, none of that is Writers Guild.
Really?
No.
That's surprising.
So you have a lot of young writers who are getting like they asked my first job for some cartoon. They asked me to create a Bible for a show. And a Bible is basically like a 10 to 15 page, right? Has like several sample episodes, deeply detailed character descriptions, the world of you're basically creating a show.
What you can and cannot do.
Yeah, and you're fleshing out somebody's like very thin idea.
That's crazy. So
and they paid me $700
to make this Bible.
like 12 pages.
Wait, this is crazy. So someone gives you the idea. They're like, we want this.
They give
be
you
the
what
show.
they think is an idea.
Well, I think
And then
every
you have to
show.
make it work.
I think every show has I saw the behind the scenes for The Simpsons and their Bible.
That's fine. I assume every show has
Yeah,
a Bible,
because-
but the
right.
fact that someone else does it besides the main showrunner and be like, make this work off of my
I
fringe,
think it's almost always the
tenuous
case.
idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think the showrunner ever writes the Bible.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they might write. TV is different because TV is really a writer's medium, right? Unlike movies, which is a director's medium. But the idea that they would pay me $700, sometimes I would be pulled into these meetings with like an executive from like a network who was head of children's programming. And they would say this one time, and a woman, she had a celebrity friend who had an idea for a kids' TV show. And so I had worked for this network on a couple of shows. So she's like bringing me into it. I'm thinking, this is great. I'm going to like help create a show. And she says, and she named the celebrity, and she said, here's their idea. And she showed me a drawing of two shoes, one that had like a mustache and one that had like eyelashes. And it's like,
Oh, Jada Pinkett Smith talked about this on her podcast.
a boy and girl shoe. And that was it.
That's the show.
That,
Wait, no other information?
nothing. That
And
was
you
it.
got to make it work.
Yeah, and create a show out of that. And she just showed me this drawing, and I tried.
How much did you get paid to try?
I don't know. Yeah, that's like development stuff, and that was a cartoon, so probably $800 or even $500. I don't know. And the thing is, those shows are structured like sitcoms. There's an A plot and a B plot.
Right.
Right.
There's the moment of learning.
Yeah.
All that stuff. A little takeaway. I tried to be as creative as I could be with those things. I wrote on a show called The Book of Pooh, which was about Winnie the Pooh, and it was these puppets, these Japanese puppets called Banrukai or something, where you have like 4 puppeteers for each puppet shot on green screen, so they're all wearing green bodysuits and covered, and then these puppets. So you had 3 or 4 people manning each puppet. But that show was great to write for because it was this classic constellation of characters that Milne had written back in the 20s.
Yeah.
So it's like a passive-aggressive rabbit, a neurotic pig, a
Right.
depressive donkey, a tiger with developmental issues,
It's Seinfeld.
and a narcissistic bear with the
Developmental
situational ethics of a drug addict. So
Here you
it
go.
all
Show
worked
us
very
how they
well.
did it. Here's your puppet.
Yeah. Did you get to play with the puppets, or was it strictly off limits?
No, you couldn't touch those things. They were worth
Okay.
a lot of money. They were worth a lot of money. And the thing about those shows is...
You were just telling us you could do Pooh's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do Pooh's voice?
Yeah, you could do Pooh's voice, right? Yeah, you said that.
Or you can imitate
Piglet.
Piglet.
Oh, no. Oh, my.
That's pretty good.
My.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Pooh.
You're not moving the mouth.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Yeah.
Clip it.
The puppeteers would often stay in character, like
Even off
Whoa,
screen.
really?
off screen. Yeah.
They would
That's
just
method
have,
acting.
They would just
Yeah.
have what? They
They
would have
would
like
be like-
normal conversations.
Yeah, we're having like lunch at the table there, in between shooting stuff, and they would still be in like, but they would talk like they would be profane. in
Okay.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like that. But like one of them had her answering machine at her home was in the voice of her.
Whoa.
This is I'm not home now. Like that. So it was a little
Wow.
creepy.
Yeah. They're a little too into their
A little
characters.
creepy.
So they're probably very like very like prideful but protective of their characters, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was like theater people.
okay.
Mhm.
Were
You
they?
know, so there's a lot of that kind of love and hate.
And that's
Got it.
that's 2 puppet shows in a row for you now.
Yeah, 2 puppet shows in a row. I did work on some animated shows.
And Bear is a full-size puppet.
Yeah, Bear is
Somebody
a
in-
bear
somebody in
suit.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is humongous.
Bear is a guy in a bear suit. And those puppets were, in that case, the puppeteers are doing the voices while they're filming it. With Pooh and those Banrukai voice actors who had been doing Pooh for years, these characters would do the voices, the script remotely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had the guy who did Piglet, was this guy who's been doing Piglet on all these different shows for years, and he lives like in Colorado.
Wow.
And
He's
this
got a
is
little
his
home
gig.
studio.
Yeah,
He's
he
got-
goes into
yeah.
a place and he does this thing. Wow. We had a script, and it was like Piglet is doing a magic show, and he does a reveal where and the line is TA-DA exclamation point, like ta-da, and I'm listening to this guy doing the lines remotely from like Colorado while I'm trying to write a script, you know.
Yeah.
He just keeps going ta-da. Ta-da. And they keep, and you can't give actors line readings, right? This is a bad thing. You can't say do it like this.
Yeah.
That's a no-no with actors, right? You don't
As a writer.
as a director, anything. It's
Oh,
just
really?
known.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a thing you don't do. Like directors, anybody, you don't tell them do it like this and then say it, because it's
Okay.
like insulting them on there. They're supposed to find their way to it. You do everything but that. You
Got
say
it.
make it more presentational, make it more like a reveal, and he just kept going ta da.
That's amazing.
Is
And that
that-
was Piglet?
That was Piglet.
That's good.
Yeah.
And did they finish with that one? Like, did
I
that
don't
make it to the
remember.
final
I
cut?
don't remember. But I loved writing for that show because they were like, there was such a great. It was like writing for a classic sitcom. We have this great constellation, a small constellation of oddball characters who all
Yeah.
bounce off of one another. So you can do all these things with it. A lot of kid shows are so earnest and the characters are so bland.
Yeah.
Bear in the Big Blue House was a hard show to write for because the audience is so young. That was for 2 to 4 year olds.
How do you even get into the mindset of writing for somebody
I
that
mean,
young?
Tutter was a mouse on that show who had like a Brooklyn accent.
That was you.
He was my anchor. Tutter was my anchor. So I wrote scripts for Tutter where Tutter goes to school with this project where he brings in a ball of string, you know. He's like, and I'm not just about string, you know. It's all- because it had an edge.
Yeah.
Bear was very earnest.
Right.
And then there's the moon. and
Bear
it's
is
all,
Pooh. Earnest in the same way.
Yeah, but Pooh, well, Pooh is earnest, but Pooh is, like I do a bit about writing for Pooh, and I say a narcissistic bear with the situational ethics of a drug addict.
What?
Yeah, Pooh, because Pooh, for a paw
Because
full
of
of honey,
the honey.
yeah, he'll
Oh,
sell Piglet into sex slavery for
Yes,
a paw full
for
of honey.
sure. He's a
Yeah,
pimp.
absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He's on his way to the surprise party. He gets distracted by honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
he's like
all,
this all the
and it's
time.
funny, and he's like this windy British character
Yeah.
who's just like, you know, wonderful idea, Piglet. That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah,
You know, like,
How would you come up with story or break story? Do you break story for a show like
I
that?
was the head writer and 4 staff writers. And we'd be in some windowless room with pizza boxes and Nerf balls everywhere
Yeah.
and coming up with premises, which is like a 2-line, they call a springboard, which is like, you know, Rabbit comes home and finds that somebody has awarded him the golden carrot and blah, blah, blah. Like whatever the springboard is for the
Cool.
idea. You don't have, that's enough. So that they can look at it and say, okay, there's a potential for an episode there. 2 lines usually.
Put it on the board.
Act
Yeah.
1 catalyst.
So
yeah.
you have to come up with, like, we would come up with 30 of those a week. Because you pitch that to the producer, he's going to like maybe 4. Pitch those to the network, and the network might like 1 or 2.
So
Then
that's the
those 1
filter
or 2
system.
Yeah, and then those 1 or 2 are brought back to us and assigned. And it's even if you came up with the springboard, you're not necessarily going to get that script.
Who's the network? Who is the actual
And
people or
Pooh-
persons?
And Bear, it was Disney.
Okay.
Yeah, the Disney Channel. That was on the Disney Channel. So was Pooh.
Gotcha. These are
But
like
I worked on PBS and Nickelodeon, and
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so then that eventually makes its way back down to you. You're like, all right, we got the story. Here's our springboard.
Now that script gets assigned. to you. Now you're on your own. I always tell people, like, the staff writing job is like the worst of both worlds. The money's great, but you're on your own as a writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, at set you have all the horror of an office job.
Yeah.
You know, the
Just sitting
interpersonal
at
stuff.
home.
You got called into meetings.
Yeah.
And yet you're hunched over these computers trying to bang out the script and the production schedule. People say, "Oh, you wrote for kids TV. That must be fun." Like they're imagining that we're all on roller skates and balloons are floating around.
Yeah.
You know, no, it's just like my back went out. I mean,
Dang.
I had a 20-week contract, and I did the last 5 weeks editing and writing scripts on my back on the floor of the writer's room.
Oh my God.
Wow. I didn't know it was that much like a lone wolf operation.
Well, you're
once
there.
It gets to that point.
Yeah, because then you're assigned, and other people are assigned, and they're working on their script and the production schedule. So you got to come up with first what they call a beat outline, which is basically like single-spaced paragraphs. It's like 4 pages long. That basically tells everything that happens in the story, every beat of the story. Pooh turns to Piglet and says that you don't have all the dialogue, but everything that happens.
But it's almost scene for scene. It's in order, chronological order.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that gets approved. Then you write a first draft, second draft, polish. But all of that process happens over like 3 days.
Whoa.
And then you do a table read cold, which means the producer and the puppeteers have not seen it yet. So now everybody from the show is on set at noon for this table read of your script. And it's maybe like your first time, right? And they're all there, all the puppeteers, and the cast and crew, everybody's standing around, and the producers are at the head of the table. And if it goes badly, you are going to have to go back to the drawing board and fix this thing.
Dang.
Not with the team.
No.
By yourself again.
And have it done by like the next day, because they're going to be taping on Friday.
So is the cold read the most like boiler pressure moment? Like, this is intense. This is when I'm most nervous about like how other people see
I mean,
my
I
work.
got to the point where I wasn't sleeping on Sunday nights, knowing that the whole wheel was going to crank up again on Monday. And this one writer gave me Ambien, which just made it worse. Have you ever taken Ambien? She goes, me and my husband, he's like an overworked lawyer, me and Mike, to keep from being at each other's throats, they take Ambien. And then after an afterthought, she goes, the only thing is sometimes the next day it makes you feel like you could eat glass.
Oh,
What
sweet.
the hell does
Like,
that
just like you're like, rah,
Yeah.
edgy. You get, and it's terrible. The hangover from it's terrible.
I
So-
just love that these Bear and the Big Blue House writers were just all hopped up
Frazzled.
on drugs.
I know.
Sucked up.
Just like this job
And
this is
peanut
fucking
M&Ms.
crazy.
There's so much
Yeah.
food, you know, when you're a staff writer on a show. It's like craft services. There's so much food. You're just eating all this junk food all day long. I know. And working these long hours and trying to come. And so, yeah, that table read. And, you know, I did one. I was pretty lucky. But I remember one, and about halfway through the script, I saw the producer do like this with a big red X.
The whole fucking page.
Yeah, just like that. I was like, that's not good. That's not going to be well.
You could just see the motion. Like, you can't see anything else, but you can see
It's
the motion.
weird. It's a weird world. You know, like you have to learn the world. People say to me, I don't have kids. You know, I've never had children. And sounds weird to say. I had them, then I
had them, yeah.
That's what the court said. I don't have children.
I cannot legally say I have children on this podcast.
Yeah, you heard it here.
Yeah, my lawyer has advised me to say I do not have children. But the world, people say, how do you write for that show? It's just genre. It's just a genre, right? Like, I don't watch science fiction. I'm not a science fiction buff. But if somebody hired me to write for like a science fiction show, I could figure out the world and write it, because it's stories.
Yeah.
It's story structure.
And Bear was like a very noir heavy show, so you just had to study the genre.
Noir?
Yeah.
Noir, like
French,
detective,
French
right?
noir.
French
Yeah.
noir.
Yeah, a lot of that. Very dark. Yeah, Bear sort of working both sides of morality.
Yeah,
A
there's
lot of dark
this.
humor with a
Yeah.
couple necromancers
Yeah.
thrown in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bear is a very morally ambivalent character.
I'm sure.
Trapped in a world he never made.
What's it called? Like fan fiction? I'm sure somebody's fan.
Oh, there's fan fiction. There's also like people have sent me clips. I know this. We used to have a Christmas party, or not a rap party at the end of the season, and the puppeteers would make these little videos for the entertainment of everybody who worked on the show.
Okay.
And they were profane. And now some of them have leaked out apparently,
Oh,
and people have sent me.
snap.
So it's like Tutter going to Ojo, move your ass, you little bitch, like whatever it is, something like that.
Yeah.
That's
and they
good.
would do that, for our amusement.
Yeah, there's just kids crying at home when
Right.
that video leaked.
Yeah. But you think like people love that. You ever see like the videos where Elmo gets like a little sassy and stuff like that, or like breaks character a little bit, might say
Right.
something edgy.
Yeah, you
and
see
it's
the
like, that's
outtakes.
great. Yeah, the outtakes.
People
yeah.
love it. I know, but it's a weird world. Like the table read, I was going to say Pooh. So I had an episode where Rabbit gets a pair of running shoes by mail order. I forget why. And the producer, the whole thing, I see him making a note like this, like an X.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the script got a lot of laughs from the puppeteers. They're hamming it up, which is good.
Cool.
And then at the end, he's like, he goes, rabbits don't wear shoes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Aren't
everybody
there
gets.
other clothes on the show? Like,
Yeah, I said,
amongst
and
the
then
other
I
characters?
said,
They don't wear
and
shirts.
all the puppeteers are very quiet now because it's like nervous now. This guy was a very domineering, typical like showrunner producer. He created
Okay.
the show. He's like, rabbits don't wear shoes, and then I said, as a newbie, he's wearing a vest, and all the puppeteers standing behind the producer are like,
Oh no! Oh,
don't.
the worst
fucked
thing
up.
that you can say.
You were fired the
And
next
then
day.
so the producer gets up and he tosses the script on the table, and he goes, "The vest is part of his character," and walks out.
So pretentious.
And I was like, "That was my lesson.
yeah.
The vest is part of its character.
Yeah.
The shoes, that's crazy. A rabbit with shoes. The
Yeah, yeah,
vest, that's part of his character."
Wow.
We take ourselves so seriously sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
It was good though. I mean, just figuring out how to make it work in all those different worlds.
Also,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you worked on this show that is a like timeless classic and has been reborn.
Bear.
Pooh.
Pooh. Yeah.
and has been reborn 50
I
times
know,
at this
mostly
point.
terribly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the horror film?
No, well, because it went into
Revenge or whatever?
right, because it went into public domain.
It did.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
and so there's all these
why.
horror
Yeah.
films
Yeah,
of
once
like
it passes
Piglet
100
getting
years.
beheaded.
Yeah, and they've changed. Disney changed it, right? Like legally changed it from like 75 to 100 or something.
Well, I don't think Disney can control
I don't
that.
think they
I
can
think it's
control
No, I think they were like went to.
I think they push it in very like different ways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Okay.
they like
Oh, they stretched it out.
they stretched it
They're
out.
lobbying
legally.
hard.
Well, even then, I mean, I
yeah.
think the original one was from like 1919. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
it passed 100 years.
Yeah.
And then, now it's porn.
Yeah.
The gates are open. The gates of hell.
I've always thought about Piglet that way.
yeah. Okay, so then you go Bear to Pooh to.
And then I wrote on some other animated shows, Maya and Miguel. Handy Manny, which was for, I think, PBS or
Okay.
Nickelodeon. Handy Manny, that was animated, so not as good money. It was a Latino repairman and his set of talking tools.
Okay.
Whoa. And you
Yes.
could really connect with that as a repairman and Latino.
And
Yes.
Latino. Yeah.
You had to work in like 2 or 3 Spanish words into the script.
Oh, okay. Like Dora the Explorer.
El
type.
regalo,
Nice.
the gift. I teach
yep.
storytelling.
Yep.
I
You
don't
gotta
do it a
have
lot now,
conflict.
but I've done it, and I taught it at like corporate retreats, but also for general audiences. And I always ask people, what's the most important element of a story? And people give their various ideas, characters, but my answer is conflict.
Conflict.
Right?
Mhm.
Romeo and Juliet, if the two families get along, there's no play.
Mhm.
It's good for them, but bad for storytelling. So there has to be conflict. And this is the main problem with children's television a lot of times, is that they want it to be sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who these geniuses were who came up with Teletubbies. That
No
It's like-
conflict show.
no conflict. It's just tripping.
Yeah.
But that's like literally for like 1 to 2 year olds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of they've got TVs in their stomachs.
Yeah.
It's kind of they were high when they.
Yeah, there's no way.
So there's no
come
way.
up with that on like
And it's
after
like
a
from-
bowl of cereal.
Yeah, and I think the original thing was from like Spain or somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, there's no conflict, so it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, same thing stand up, right? I mean, it's interesting to see like so much stand up is like kind of Bill Burr, right? Angry, like playing and angry,
complaining,
going
and
off
stuff.
on things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And audiences love that. You're the stand-in for them. You're saying things. What's up with this? And I don't do a lot of that, but I find myself sometimes sounding more edgy. And it's funny because audiences really want that.
Yeah.
They
want you to be the one who
has a
says,
strong opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's also, I think, a strong opinion that you could love something a lot too, and
Right.
you want to go off about that. But
Right.
it's the fact that you're going off.
It's just easier to be negative and to be funny and
Yeah.
to just rip something apart. Making fun of Gen Z, whatever it is.
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Do you do that a lot? Or
I don't. I can't even keep track of which is which. So,
You're all Gen Z to me.
Yeah.
that's a good joke.
Well, the
It's
funny
like,
thing
I
is-
can't talk about generations. I don't know who the fuck is in what bucket.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of tail end of the boomer. The boomer generation is so big, like the years. So there's not really a commonality among. That's like 18 years,
It's a
16
lot.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm an afterthought. Now it's just like internecine warfare between like Gen Z, Gen X.
Yeah, it's crazy, and
they're all going after each other. So I'm
Yeah.
left out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everybody forgot about you.
People don't like boomers.
No, they don't like boomers, but it's sort of faded. Now that seems like kind of gone. Now it's too busy. The Gen X and Gen Z, they're too busy like flaming each other.
Yeah,
That's it. It is interesting. You're totally right. That generational thing, and the millennials are just kind of like,
Yeah.
look
I'm on
both
the
sides.
tail end of millennial, so I'm a 95 boy,
Right.
and that's when it ends.
Yeah, the millennials going off on Gen Z. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people are like, "No, you're Gen Z," because like there's never a fucking Bible or a definition of these generations too. Like some people say it starts in like 95, some people say it starts in 96.
Right.
And there's all this
as
consternation.
long as we can generalize about large groups of people.
Yeah, exactly. They
that's the
just
main
want
point.
to be thrown into a bucket to feel some solidarity
socially
with other
awkward.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, give me a break. Like everyone's got some similarities and differences.
I mean, I've heard
and-
many comedians do crowd work, and they go something about, I'm a millennial. If I had been born a few years later, I would be gay. Like the joke is like,
Yeah.
you're Gen Z, you're gay.
You're gay. Yeah.
That's just like a.
They're pretty gay, though. Let's be honest. They're pretty gay. They're like 24% of us are gay. Like, statistically impossible. But can you tell
A
yourself
quarter?
that?
Is that
Yeah,
the-
dude. That's what they say. These studies where it's like about a quarter of them say they are gay or bisexual.
That's why the population's going down, guys.
Yeah, it's why it's why birth rates are declining.
Declining, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm left out of that. So.
Are you? But having joined stand up later,
Yeah.
and now you're on stage with some 20-somethings,
Yeah.
pretty regularly.
Yeah.
What is that? What's the feel around that? Is that
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so much being on stage because you're not on stage with them.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
You're hanging
I
out.
mean,
In the
comedy's
corner
a weird thing because you're all on your own.
Yeah.
And you're performing alone.
Yeah.
I love the punk rock thing of it. Like Doug Stanhope talks about this, about like with comedy, it's very punk rock. You're the writer, the producer, the actor, the editor, the performer.
Yeah.
You're
Speaking
everything.
of ranting, Doug Stanhope.
Yeah, no kidding. I love Doug Stanhope.
He's
not
probably
for
my favorite
everybody.
comic.
He's
He's
not
probably
for
my
everybody.
favorite comic. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, but you're on your own, but then you're hanging out with these people all the time because there's so much time off stage, a lot of waiting around, and these become, and you see everybody at the same shows, and they become your, if not your social circle, well, your social circle for sure. But some of them might become close friends.
Yeah.
I'm older than them, so I'm not, but so there are comics my age and even older, but I find it's great for me. It's just interesting. I mean, I learn slang that I wouldn't know otherwise.
Yeah. What's your favorite Gen Z or millennial slang word?
It's not my favorite, but I wouldn't probably, like people my age don't know what tossing the salad is.
Okay.
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
know if
people your age
Ronald, do you know
invented-
what I'm talking about?
He has no idea. He doesn't have.
And I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, except that,
That's probably like a Gen X.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there was a
term.
period like 3-4 years ago where
Yeah.
all these comics were doing jokes about that.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah.
was,
of course.
especially at Mike's, but it was just relentless.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Do they ever talk about like the toys that they grew up with? That, like you have no idea what.
No.
No?
I don't think so. Like what? Like what's a toy?
Like if I had to ask you, when's the last time you let it rip? How would you
like
answer that question?
Farting?
It could be,
Yeah.
but no. The answer is no.
Okay. See, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it.
There you
Okay,
go.
so
This is going to be really embarrassing.
back
You
in the
start testing
90s,
me on.
we're testing you. Back in the 90s, kids would let it rip, and by that I mean they would play with this toy right here.
Okay.
Which is a Beyblade. Okay.
Okay.
So they're like little battle robot
Oh my
spinners.
God, I love
like
this.
think of like a dreidel, but they hit each other and
Nice.
get
Wow.
bragging chops.
Dream
Yeah,
scenario.
it's your
The
dream.
dreidel, but they hit each other.
Yeah. So this segment, we have a
Dreidel,
segment-
dreidel.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to sing the song the
Yeah,
whole
you have
time.
to sing that song. Yeah, you look like an Irish Catholic, but like
Yeah.
you got to sing that song.
But I lived in New York for a long time.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
He knows.
Yeah.
I'm
so
honorary.
Honorary.
honorary. Okay. So we have the segment every time we have a show.
Okay.
And the segment is called Beyblading in the Bay with Bays.
Okay.
And we're gonna battle with Beyblades.
Okay.
It's pretty much dogfights. Yeah. Oh, so legal and encouraged by many a Gen Z. So because this is again a Gen Z millennial game, and this will give you mad chops again with all those folks that you hang out with if you nail it.
3, 2, 1, let it rip.
You're blue. Okay, it's a good match so far. Oh, blue's losing steam.
Where's
Oh
this
my
coming
God.
after? Oh, you
Red?
won. You won.
No,
Wait,
he was blue.
You were blue? Oh, you lost.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that, dude.
He says this
Look
is
at that.
lame.
This is you, and that's me. Really just demolishing you.
That was really bad.
On a scale of like Simpsons to Miguel and Moto or whatever your
Maya
show
Miguel.
was, yeah, where would you rate this game?
My performance?
Yeah, your
Is-
performance.
Your fun level
Teletubby.
too.
Teletubby.
This is Teletubby.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
Teletubbies. And
Well,
you're-
for me, fun level's great. I love. They used to have when I was like in grade school. No, before that. Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We should get that.
So
those
I
are
love anything
bonkers.
like that.
Yeah.
Those you can kind of move around, sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
boxers and
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
all of that.
It'd be fun to get some like new games.
We should
here.
get some new games. We've done
Rock'em
we've done a
Sock'ems.
dozen episodes. We've done this every time, and it's probably losing its luster a little bit. But no one
I
expects
think farting would have worked better.
Fart, letting it rip. We
Just
just
a
sit,
fart contest.
hold our mics.
Yeah.
I can't fart on command. That is one skill I never mastered.
Okay.
What
Well,
can't-
storytelling to comedy to farting on command. That's
It's
true
something to
performance
that would be
levels.
the next
That's the next level.
next phase.
Yeah, where you join the Jackass crew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if only.
Do you see anything else after comedy?
No, I don't have much time left. So
Oh, come on.
So morbid. I was not.
What do you? Well, I
this
guess
is my
like,
third act.
is
I
your
didn't
third
expect.
act?
I never expected to be doing stand up at all. I did not. I did not aspire to this when I was in my 20s. Unlike all these guys I perform with, right?
Mhm,
Who've
mhm.
really been interested in doing it since they were 15. So for me, this is all like just sort of gravy and
It's
interesting.
extra.
Yeah, and it's freeing in a way because my expectations are so different.
Mhm.
But I mean, I still live or die on every show.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
You know,
That's
Yeah.
good.
you do a great show,
Keeps you alive.
and you're like, I am the shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And it's now also you do a lot of shows and you learn the audience is like, yeah, I was pretty good, but that was just a great audience.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
totally.
yeah.
And then another night you go out and you're like, what the hell?
I said the exact same thing.
Why
I
don't
said
you
last
like
night.
me?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
don't you like me?
Please like me.
What do I have to do?
I just want a couple more
Yeah.
Instagram followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't
I
you like
live
me?
off external validation.
So I don't know. I don't really have any expectations about beyond doing this.
No Act 4. Other than
I don't
death.
think so. Who knows? I mean, this was all unexpected and just sort of happened. And then I like it. It's fun. I like all aspects of it. And I love talking to you, talking about hanging around with these young comics.
Yeah.
And not young, whatever, 30s, 40s, but a lot are mostly dudes
Yeah.
who are like, in their 20s.
White
Yeah.
dudes, yeah.
White dudes in their 20s.
one girl's at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's an open mic? It looks like a comic book convention.
yeah, totally.
And, but talking about craft.
Yeah.
Or audiences, or just weird things that you learn that you would never know to even know you didn't know if you weren't doing it. Like, I remember riding with a couple of comics to a show who had been in it a couple more years than me, and talking about what to do when a joke that you've had, that you've been doing for like a couple of years, like one of your go-to jokes, suddenly stops working. And why is that? And it's not because it's topical. It's not a topical joke. But for whatever reason, it stops working. And they both were... And this is a phenomenon you wouldn't think about, except that... it happens. It has happened to me.
Yeah.
Have you had this?
Yes, I've definitely had it. I've heard an answer to it.
Okay, tell me
It's
your
that you
answer.
don't care about it anymore.
Right.
And the audience sees that, like, this is old, or you don't have any connection with this anymore, and you're just spewing out the thing that you've been saying.
But the solution... Have you heard of a solution
No, I don't
to
know
this?
that I have.
With these comics, two local guys who you probably know, was to go back and look at video of you doing the joke early on and see that somehow you're doing it slightly differently. I did resuscitate this one joke, and because it was like a go-to joke for me. It was killed all the time, and then suddenly it was like 50-50. And then I was like, well, I can't close with that anymore.
Yeah.
And then I brought it back, and now it's starting to lose steam again. So I'm probably losing interest in it again.
More CPR.
Yeah, or just ditch it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really well-structured joke, but I think it is that. They sense you're tired of it.
You're tired of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I do have so many. I'm just like, I need to retire these jokes.
I don't
but
want
then
to retire anything, you know.
Yeah.
You don't even retire yourself.
No. No, I don't think about retirement. I'm just going right into the grave.
Are you at work? Are you
done.
living off Bear in the Big Blue House money?
No, that stuff dries up. You know, residuals are halved with every check. They reduce
gotcha.
geometrically. So you get a first check, you get 40,000, then 20,000,
okay.
then 10. So I literally get checks now for, it says, pay to the order of Douglas Cordell.
$5.
No dollars and 1 cent.
You got a check for that?
I get checks for that, and
Yes,
and I
send it.
I blew one up for a storytelling show because I had it, and it literally says pay to the order of, and it says $0. They have zero spelled out, so there's no ambiguity. It says $0, 0.01 cent.
Perfect.
So it's 1 penny. Yeah, and I get those. It's crazy. It's some legal thing.
Yeah.
For like, you know, the 114th rerun of Bear in the Big Blue House in Japan.
Yeah.
1 cent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you doing any other writing besides comedy right now? No. Okay.
No. You know, someday I might try to write. I would like to write a novel from the point of view of somebody who's doing comedy later in life. But there's got to be another element to it, which I've thought about. Not just that, not like a memoir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the novel, just because it's freeing up and you don't have to have everything be true.
Can I commission you to write a novel from the point of view of a Beyblade?
A Beyblade? This?
Beyblade,
I
yeah.
could do it.
Yeah, you could do it. You probably
I
have a
could do it.
great time with it.
I don't know if you have this experience, write stuff at mics.
Oh, I write stuff at mics all the time.
Yeah, because you're about to go up. And suddenly the urgency of like, no, that is not going to work. I can just listening to people do jokes and I'm looking the way I have this written. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
And you change it right
I'll
there.
write a new one. Or I love like a quick riff off of something that was just said.
Right.
Right at the top.
That cum joke that I told to Ronald before was off of what another comic said. He said did something about at a mic about, and I had not heard this study about eating pineapple makes cum taste good, and he had some bit on it. And then I just went up there right away and said, my experience, what makes cum taste good? Free cocaine.
Yeah.
And he just got a
he's
big
great.
laugh. So I was
That's
like, I'm going
great.
to do that.
Yeah.
That's
Gotta
great.
keep it. Gotta keep it.
Keep it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. So I think we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
But if
End
you,
on a cum joke. Boom.
Yeah, there you go.
Like a pro.
Children's children's
I finished.
television show writer.
You finished. And that's the climax of this episode.
That's right. That's right.
If you could tell the people what you got going on right now, how can they find you?
They can find me. I have a website, dougcordell.com, DOUGCORDELL.com. Has a calendar of events, clips, all that stuff. Locally here, Cobb's Comedy Club, Punchline, San Jose Improv, and then around and about, and sitting at the bar.
Awesome.
Yes,
after the show.
you'll find him sitting at the bar after the show if you want to have a
Feel free to
conversation,
come up and talk
or
to
you
me.
want to talk about Bear. Yeah,
All good.
really the whole spectrum.
All good.
That's the whole spectrum of life. Cool. Thank you so much, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.